As long as a single game exists, a single gaming machine will always overcome it.
This video contains strong language used in a funny context. Viewer discretion advised.
The subject of games are my specialty. Mostly old school gaming. From NES, Super NES, Sega Genesis, to even the Nintendo 64, as people have known. Even gaming consoles like the Magnavox Odyssey, the Commodore 64. Different types of consoles come into mind when you think of old school gaming. One of my favorite consoles I like to talk about is the NES. Hence my shirt. Nintendo came out with another system around the time of the NES. I'd say it was a couple years after. And that console was called the Game Boy, which I own, as you can see, the Game Boy. I own a Game Boy Pocket. I own a Game Boy Color. I own a Game Boy Advance. I even own a Game Boy SP. And, just for kicks and giggles, I own a Nintendo DS. But I'm not here to talk about the console. I'm here to talk about a specific gaming series that started on the NES. And took a risk by taking one specific title to the actual Nintendo Game Boy, Castlevania, created by Konami. Castlevania 1 was basically about a vampire hunter named Simon Belmont, and his mission, armed with his whip and side weapons of your choice, depending on what you ran into before you run into your enemy, his sole mission is to defeat the evil Dracula, while defeating bosses along the way. But we mostly had gotten sequels when it came to the main consoles. We had a couple prequels too, but where did a lot of it basically start off? Well, today I'm going to be talking about that specific game. And this game is called Castlevania Legends. As you can see, this is Castlevania Legends right here. It's considered one of my favorite Game Boy games, and I owned this back in the day when I was a child. Who would have ever thought this game would have actually been worth this much? Now, not many people know about Castlevania Legends because of the fact that Konami has considered this specific gaming title to be what's called non-canon. Non-canon, which means it's not part of the main storyline. Castlevania Legends is technically the first Castlevania game to have a female as the main character, or main protagonist. Spoiler alert, by the way. You find out that Sonia Belmont, yes, she is technically the first Belmont. Sonia Belmont is currently pregnant with her son, which is absolutely crazy. There's specific reasons as to why Castlevania Legends is considered my favorite Castlevania game, aside from Castlevania 1 for the Nintendo. And I'm going to be talking about that for you today while playing this game. I'm going to tell you more about this game. So, sit back, get your favorite drinking beverage, join me, Onyx The Gaming Machine, as he explores Castlevania Legends. So, no more BS, no more stalling. Let's get straight into this game. Alright, so we're going to get this started. So we're going to press start here. New game. And I'm going to be doing this on standard mode because light mode is just basically just easy mode. So let's get to the story. This is the tale of a young girl's struggle to single-handedly provide Transylvania, a place ruled by madness and despair, with the light of hope. Now, your character's name is Sonia Belmont, and she's been through some very interesting stuff. And basically, Sonia Belmont, she's the first vampire hunter from House Belmont to become, legendary. She is a master of, her whip and possesses special abilities that normal people don't, have. So, let's go and get this started. Now, the first thing you're going to notice is the music is actually not too shabby for a Game Boy game. The song that is playing is a remixed version of a song called Bloody Tears, as I mentioned before. And Bloody Tears, it debuted on Castlevania Simon's Quest for the Nintendo Entertainment System. And yeah, basically Castlevania Legends, it consists of 6 timed stages, each ending in a boss battle, which is very similar to the original formula of Castlevania. And there's a lot of obstacles in this game. There's a lot of obstacles such as pits that are found along the way, as well as trap rooms that can cause instant death, which we will not be seeing those today. And the control scheme is very, very interesting. It's really good because it's similar to the previous 2 Castlevania titles that were released for the Nintendo Game Boy, which I'm not going to talk about those because I don't really like those games in particular, but the option to use sub-weapons in this game has been removed. But in addition though, Sonia, she's able to slowly crawl, and the movement is it is a little bit sluggish, as you can see. She's a very slow walker, but I mean it's redeemable. It's not a lackluster thing that would make you hate this game. I really like this game, I really do. But anyways, yeah, the option of sub-weapons has been removed, but instead of sub-weapons, Sonia can unlock what's called soul weapons, and you get those by defeating a lot of boss creatures. Now, soul weapons, they consume hearts and are they're chosen from a menu by pressing the select button during the normal play. But the effects of these abilities include freezing enemies for a short time, which is, a wind ability, refilling Sonia's health bar, which is an ice ability. And there's even, killing or damaging enemies that are on the screen, which is a fire ability. Now, there is other abilities as well, like, there's this type of energy wave that you can shoot out, and it basically shoots through anyone in its path, and that's a saint weapon. And I believe, yes, there's a nullifying projectile attack, and it's basically just called a magic attack. But there is a new ability in the game that's called Burning Mode. Burning Mode can be initiated by pressing the A and B buttons at the same time. This basically makes Sonia invincible for a very limited time, and it also increases her walking speed and makes her whip attack stronger. Because of this feature, the game is considerably easier than the other 2 Game Boy games. But I still do believe that this game has its moments when it's really, really hard. But, now, because this game, though, because Castlevania Legends was released very soon after Castlevania Symphony of the Night, its design, I'd say, was influenced by the open-ended gameplay of the title. And, multiple paths can be chosen, which often lead to, like, a special item that can be collected. However, there is only one correct route you can take to end the stage, though. Another example would be, there's a hidden stage that can be accessed by finding its hidden entrance, and I believe it's, stage 5, which is the cathedral. Playing this stage is, essentially for getting a special ending, because one of the special items, there's like a special item that's there that's needed to trigger that ending, and it can be found there. Now, of course, this being a Castlevania game,
The game's regular weapon is a whip and can, you know, once again be upgraded by what's called collecting crystals, found by hitting, you know, like the little candles that are on the walls. And unlike the previous Game Boy Castlevania titles though, should Sonya take damage by an enemy, the power of the whip will not decrease to its, you know, previous form, which I actually think that that's a really good thing that they put in the game, because I don't like the idea of every time you getting hit, you lose the abilities that your whip got. Like you end up losing the stuff that you gained to make your whip stronger. But when the whip is fully powered, it can launch fireballs straight forward. And another staple that this game shares with the other previous two entries is that it's absent of staircases and it's replaced with ropes that you can climb, which I really like that. I like the fact that you can climb a rope and not worry about so many freaking stairs that would piss you off in the NES titles and, you know, things of that nature. But one thing to remember though is a notable feature in the Japanese version is the option to save after each stage, while all the previous games in the series, except for Symphony of the Night, do this by means of what is called a password system. The other versions of Castlevania Legends, you know, continue this tradition. Now, I like the fact that there's a password system. I like that it's not a very long password system. Versus there's some games that have password systems and the passwords are so fucking long that you're like, I may as well just fucking start this over. But things are about to get interesting in a little bit here. I need to concentrate a little bit more. I'm doing good so far right now. But, yeah. Getting all these hearts here. I'm about to go through this door. And I like how also in the NES version, they have, which is, you know, the original Castlevania, where you play as Simon Belmont, you know, they have the little small cutscene thing that happens when you enter to a door. And I like how they put that in Castlevania Legends, as you can see here. So let me climb this rope here. A shimmy, 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 shimmy. A shimmy, 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 shimmy. But I also did like the fact that you can use your whip on the rope while you're still on it too. I thought that was a pretty cool thing they added as well. But yeah, like back to what I was saying though. As I said in the beginning, you know, most of the music of Castlevania Legends, it was newly composed. However, as I said before, the first stage notably has a modified version of Bloody Tears. And also, the final battleground music begins with a quote from Vampire Killer. And I thought that was cool. But we're about to get to our boss battle here. So, oh no, it's a gargoyle demon. Oh no. Will I prevail? Will I kill the gargoyle demon? You know I'm gonna kill the freaking gargoyle demon. You know I'm going to. I wouldn't be who I am if I didn't kill the gargoyle demon. Gargoyle demon! Super Sonya! I always like waiting until the boss fights to activate her special ability. But yeah, pretty much though. Score. Alright, now we're at the next level here. But I want to talk a little bit more about Castlevania Legends. Now, Castlevania Legends is the third and final Castlevania title that was released for the original Game Boy. It was released in Japan on November 27th, 1997, and in North America in March. I believe it was March 11th, 1997 or 1998. Now, the video game does have enhancements for the Super Game Boy attachment thing for the Super Nintendo. So, this is one of Game Boy games that you can actually play on the Super Game Boy thing for Super Nintendo. Now, some other things that, you know, you should know about this game. I'm not going to spoil too much about the gameplay because I want people to have their own gameplay experience with this game. But your player starts with 3 lives, after which the game is over. But the player may continue from the beginning of the last stage they were in. There is also a hit score shown of how many enemies have been defeated in each stage. Striking candles will often cause items to appear. The game does not make the use of sub-weapons, unlike other Castlevania titles. And this game, honestly, it relies heavily on the use of magic. And that's not a bad feature. It's not a bad feature, and it does make this unique. It makes this game unique because it's, you know, based around magic. But the magic system used relies on, you know, like I said before, the 5 soul weapons, which is ice, wind, saint, flame, and magic. Hearts are used as currency to acquire weapons. I already talked about the burning mode that I used at the boss fight, which makes her temporarily invincible. She moves faster and has more powerful attacks. Now, also keep in mind that they don't come out and say this in the plot, but this story happens in the year 1450. But I hate the fact that this game is not canon. It's not part of the main storyline. And I have heard rumors that the reason why is simply because she's a female protagonist, and plus, one of the endings for Castlevania, for this one in particular, is it's really shocking. It's very, very shocking because you find out that Sonia, which in this game she's 17 at the time, she's technically pregnant throughout this whole game with Alucard's baby, which is Simon Belmont, which that is freaking weird. Now, like I said, this isn't part of the main storyline, so you know, you don't have to worry about anything not making any sense. But just imagine if this was storyline and we got that ending. Like I said, there's a lot of endings to this game, but one of the endings is you find out that she's pregnant throughout this whole game. She's 17, and the father is Alucard. And also at the same time, Alucard had a bond with Sonia. But Alucard, to many people's knowledge, is the son of Dracula. So there you go. There you go. But the reception of the game was what was really weird to me. The company IGN, they called, you know, the game one of Game Boy's cult classics, despite the fact that it was put on a portable system and it had its limitations. Now, some people will say that the music was a disappointment, as from the 2 previous Game Boy Castlevania games. But, you know, I don't know. I think that was a staged review because I liked the music for this game. A lot of people will say that the game's music is really good. If you want to see a review, a really good review that I took place in the past about Castlevania Legends, check out YouTuber Crazy Sean DX. He did a really, really good Castlevania Legends review, and I recommend his channel to anybody who likes gaming reviews and just old school gaming in general. But I'm not sure why, but Konami did state at one point that Castlevania Legends remains something of an embarrassment for the series. But I thought it was just really weird, though. Now, I did hear another rumor as well, that Sonia Belmont was going to be a lead in the Dreamcast game Castlevania Resurrection, but that game had gotten canceled. Now, like I said, that's a rumor, but I got a feeling that it was going to happen. But yeah, that's really all that I know about this game off the top of my head. But here's the dragon here. He's actually really easy. If you watch the patterns carefully, you'll actually be able to get through this. But Super Sonya! I'm gonna whip this dragon into hell, man. I'm gonna whip this dragon into hell. I'm gonna whip it into hell. I'm gonna whip it into hell. I think I'll do one more level of this game, just so people can get some more visuals in this. But I actually kind of like the enemies in this game. You know, you got the bats, you got the little statues that shoot out the, you know, pyro stuff. About to use a sub weapon here. I keep calling it a sub weapon when it's a soul weapon. That's how you know I'm a Castlevania guy, if I keep calling stuff the wrong names these days. But yeah, I really like Castlevania Legends. It's a very expensive game, I will say. It was very, very hard to get. I believe I paid about $70 for this on Amazon. There was nothing wrong with the game cartridge or anything, so that was really good. Now, to some people, $60 to $70 is not a lot of money. However, that is a lot of money to me when it comes to a Game Boy game. Just simply because it's like just a really small cartridge, and you know, it costs, you know, like $60, $70, you know. But I really had no problems with this game. It really honestly felt like it could have been on an NES. It would have been very interesting if this game was on an NES, because I believe this game was ahead of its time, just simply because not just the music, but look at these graphics though. These graphics are really not bad, man. I mean, to some people, they would think these, you know, this game has really bad graphics, but they're probably just modern gamers that completely hail the almighty Call of Duty and stuff. Screw the new freaking Call of Duty. I can't stand the crap. I've tried it. I've tried to play Black Ops. I've tried to play those. They suck. They just absolutely suck. Just like Halo 5 sucked. Not saying I wouldn't play it again. I just don't like the story. I'm a story-based gamer. I like that if it'll have a good story, because I guess that's the reason why I like Castlevania Legends, because it has a really sad backstory to it, but you wouldn't know it if you haven't seen all the different endings to Castlevania Legends. However, I just kind of wish that they kept this as a main storyline, because that would make it that, you know, Simon Belmont would have had more to his origins than just being a vampire hunter. But, you know, what are you gonna do? You know, you tell me, what do you think they would have done with the Castlevania franchise if they would have made this actual legit storyline? How would that literally affect Castlevania? You tell me in the comments below if you're a Castlevania fan. Let me know how this game would have affected the storyline for Castlevania. I would really like to know. I also have been asked if I like Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Yes, I absolutely love that game. Oh, I took a little piece of damage. It's okay, just one damage. Now, Symphony of the Night always felt like a Metroid Castlevania thing. But then again, who hasn't said that already? However, I like the fact that you play as Alucard. I think that's a really, really cool concept, because you're always playing as a Belmont or somebody with a spear or somebody with a whip. For once, you're playing with somebody that's the son of fucking Dracula. Okay, that's like fucking mad, dude. I always like that. And plus, they really tease you in the beginning of the game because Alucard has all of his weapons and shit, and at the same time, you're acting like a complete utter boss in this game, but then they strip all your powers away and take away all your important gear, and you're just basically stuck with just being regular, and you have to build yourself up in a way of like an RPG system. It's a lot like an RPG system. And I guess the main reason why I liked Castlevania Symphony of the Night was just simply because it added something to the lore of Castlevania, in my opinion. Because you're not just playing as a vampire hunter or somebody with with the use of magic. You're playing as fucking Alucard, the son of fucking Dracula. Okay? That is just fucking mad, and I love that concept. I always loved that concept, and the fact that it came out for the fucking PlayStation was awesome as hell. That was mad, dude. That was fucking mad. But yeah, back to the story at hand, though. I recommend everybody to play Castlevania Legends. Not only if you're a Castlevania fan, but if you like games that have a strong story, but you have to find out the story on your own, then play this game. Play this at least a couple times. See what you learn. You know, this to me is my second favorite Castlevania game. My first favorite being Castlevania for the NES, where you play as Simon fucking Belmont and you're going to kill Dracula. Yes, I fucking love that shit. But the reason why this one is my second favorite is, have you ever noticed that technically Castlevania Legends and Castlevania for the NES are basically polar opposites of each other? See, if you want a Castlevania game that's old school and will give you a good storyline and give you not only the vampire hunter feel, but something extra, play Castlevania Legends. If you want to get straight to the point and go and kill Dracula and, you know, get all messed up with the boss fights, play Castlevania for the NES. But basically, this is going to be the end of this gameplay when I'm done killing this guy, and then I'll be ending this review for today. But I hope everybody enjoyed.
Alright everyone, thank you so much for watching this episode of Onyx The Gaming Machine. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know if me playing Castlevania Legends for you today made you want to check this game out for yourself, either by emulator for Game Boy, or just going out there trying to find the cartridge and also having the actual Game Boy to play it on. But, like I said, thank you so much for watching, and this is Onyx The Gaming Machine, and I'll see you in the next video. And this is Onyx signing out.